So I thought maybe I should do a video talking about my experience with computers, as I have had some experiences, and let me talk about my experiences. So, uh, my family had an old Dell computer. Don't know what it was, but it was an old Dell. Now, um, basically, eventually we got a new HP that was slightly better. And the old Dell barely worked. It couldn't do much anymore. And the HP was slightly better, but not great. But yeah, Dell computers suck. I don't like Dell. And it's like all of this was years ago, so it's like I'm trying to remember it, and I can't really. But I remember my dad kept the computers and never really did anything with them. Eventually, 2020, I asked if I could have him to salvage them to possibly build my own jank computer. Yeah, I now know that's not possible, but I was trying. Like, that was when I really wanted to try and build my own computer. And actually 2020 was when I wanted to get my own good computer, because it's like I had a monitor computer that was cheap. Could play Minecraft Bedrock Edition all right, but it wasn't the greatest. So I wanted a better computer. But it, like, I never got one. So 2021, I salvaged those two HP, or the HP and the Dell computers, took them apart, and never put them back together. I kept all the parts in a totes and stuff, and I never did anything with them. Motherboards I had under my desk, and CPUs and RAMs sitting somewhere on my dresser. Yeah, I did not take good care of them. And the hard drives, they were sitting on my desk for a long time too. Eventually I found out I could do nothing with the parts, so I just threw the parts away. And that's what became the fate of my two family computers. The only thing I had left was the two hard drives. Now, I should have kept the HP computer. I really wish I did. Because now I want to make my own home server. And the HP computer would have been perfect for that. So I really regret throwing it away and taking it. I really regret taking it apart and not putting it back together and then just throwing it away after a while. And so then the hard drives sat on my desk. I kept trying to figure out what to do with them until, actually, we'll get to it later. Let's stay in the timeline. Because the hard drives are just sitting on my desk for like 3 years, 4 years, 3.5 years, really. They sat there for a while. And it's like, then we get to this point where the monitor computer and the laptop that I had, my old Sony Vaio was the laptop, and the monitor computer I think was a Dell something, which I actually didn't explain how I got the monitor computer. Early 2020, I was asked by one of my relatives, who I usually go to for tech support, if I wanted a computer that he had, and so he gave it to me. And so I used it until December of 2021, when it just started to not really function. I would go, like, it can play Minecraft Bedrock Edition, but it's like why am I even mentioning that? I've mentioned it already. But it's like I would go into it, I would turn it on, go into it, and then it would crash, and the screen would just stay the way it is. I couldn't even move the mouse, couldn't even turn the off button, or turn it off using the button. I had to unplug it to turn it off. Eventually, I just kind of forgot about it and never really did anything. So like 6 months later, in like June of 2022, I downloaded Steam on my laptop here to try and get it to do it, just see what I could do and play the Henry Stickmin collection mainly. That's really the only thing I knew this laptop was capable of, and even then, it wasn't capable of it because it started having issues, took it to the same relative, and I also was like, you know what, I keep forgetting about the monitor computer, I'll take it to him too, see what he can do. Well, you can probably guess by the fact that I don't have the monitor computer anymore, and I still have the laptop, that the monitor computer was screwed. I don't know what it's called. I just used the term monitor computer. That's what I've always used. It probably has an actual term. Anyway, I was just told that it was unrepairable, and judging by the fact that now knowing about computers, what I know is that most likely it was motherboard damage. And so yeah, but I was also told that my laptop could not handle Steam, and so the relative uninstalled it along with Discord. So yeah, the laptop couldn't really do much anymore. Fast forward to 2023. I started watching a lot of like tech repair videos, and I really wanted to get into building my own computer. Finally. I've been wanting to do it since 2021, wanted my own computer since 2020. 2023, I was finally acting on it. Kinda. What I mean by acting on it is thinking, man, I wish I could do that, man, I wish I could do that, man, I wish I could do that. And so I started trying to save up. But I also had an issue with my laptop at the time, where the screen all of a sudden had a weird line appear on it. This was like summer of 23. Now, the best thing I could think of what happened was I had it sitting in my laptop case on the floor next to a really high-powered magnet. And that's what I assume messed with the screen, because I can't think of anything else. Because after I moved it away from the magnet, the line stopped growing. And didn't know what to do, so I just kept using the laptop with the weird line for months. And I should also mention where I got my laptop from. I completely forgot to mention it. It's the laptop, Sony Vaio PCG 71812L. It belonged to my grandfather. And after he died, a while later, like maybe late 2020, early 2021, I don't know when, I asked my grandma if I could have it, and she reluctantly agreed. She's always been very sentimental and hard for her to let go of stuff, but it's like, she's gotten better over the years about it. But it's like, I now have this laptop, and, yeah, basically, just weird line on the screen that I couldn't really do much about. Eventually, I did ask one of my relatives about a screen replacement, and he told me, no, just get a new one. And I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to get a new laptop. So I just dealt with the line. Eventually, February of 2024, I got a job at a gas station, which I still work at. And my initial goal was to save up to build a computer. And eventually, I just kind of looked at doing other things. And so my computer hobby obsession kind of died down until November of 2024, when like I kind of got the idea, I could take the laptop to a repair shop and get the screen replaced. They had to charge me like $250 for it. And the guy there literally told me, yeah, you should probably just get a new laptop. And so I didn't. And then fast forward to June of 2024. I wanted to put an album I really liked onto a CD because it never got a CD release. I was trying to figure out if my laptop could burn CDs, and I figured out it could. And then my friend, I brought my laptop over to my friend's house because he had some blank CDs I could use. I then burnt the CDs, but then I had to go to work like really quickly because I got called into work that day. Well, I didn't get called in. Someone called in sick. So my boss asked us all, like, anybody want to take their shift? I'm like, I could. So I had to rush over. I left my laptop at my friend's house, and I asked him to bring it into work for me. And one thing I also forgot to mention, because there's just so much here that I forgot to mention this too, is that in May of 2024, I tried to take apart my laptop just to take a look at the inside. I failed and stripped one of the screws. Stripped so bad I could not get it out. And so what did I do? Well, nothing. Again. Nothing. I did absolutely nothing. Again. And so then I'm gonna shut off my computer. Just, oh, I didn't mean to click restart. I accidentally clicked restart, so yeah. But, I did nothing about it. But, why am I mentioning this? Well, it's because I was telling my friend Will at his house about how my laptop has the strip screw and I can't get it out. And he suggested grabbing a drill and going and drilling it out. And I was like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. And so when he brought my laptop into work, he told me how he got the strip screw out using a drill, and I was like, oh, I didn't want you to do that, but thank you. There was no damage either. It was like, it was right here. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's where it was. So as soon as I got home, I took apart my laptop again and actually opened it up for the first time. And then that kind of sparked my tech obsession again with computers. And so then I started working on my laptop, looking for parts to upgrade. And I finally replaced the screen. And I actually, hold on, I'm gonna pause the recording and go grab the old screen replacement because I'm a hoarder and still have it. So here's the old screen right here, as you can see. And, oh, the voice crack there. It's kind of hard to tell with the camera, but the line that I'm talking about is, where is it? There it is, yeah. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is right there. He won't, I can see it. Okay, yeah, you can kind of see it there. Looks like a cord that's just hanging, but that's the line, like right there. And it is noticeable when the screen isn't even on. And so, yeah, I needed to replace the screen. And so I ordered a screen replacement off eBay for $50. You know what's funny? That's how much my laptop's worth. But $50. It would have been $150 for the part alone at that repair shop. Let me show you. That's the new screen. There's nothing in my laptop right now. There is no operating system. Like, let me show you. No, okay, well, okay, now it's doing that. But I'll get to that. I'll get to why that is. I also tried to replace my optical drive with Blu-ray 1, but I couldn't get it to work, so I just returned it, and instead replaced it with a caddy that I could put a second drive into. I also upgraded the RAM from 4 gigabytes to 8 gigabytes, and as soon as I upgraded it, I also reinstalled Discord. Did I mention Discord was uninstalled because of the same issue as Steam? I can't remember. Oh, and another thing I forgot is there was another strip screw under the battery right here. But I was able to get it out, but it's like I did not put it back in just in case if I were to strip it even more. And I'd completely forgotten about that one. But the RAM, that was like $30 to do. And, yeah, upgrading the RAM, replacing it with a caddy to add a second drive if I wanted to. And then I ordered a CPU replacement, but this is where I screwed up. I ordered one that was an Ivy bridge. This is a Sandy bridge. Same socket, different chipset, so I messed up there. And I have 2 CPUs coming in the mail that are going to hopefully work with my laptop. I ordered them both. They are the same chipset socket, or the same chipset and socket. I ordered them both on accident. I meant to order CPUs for the same friend as who had helped me with this, but I had completely forgotten and messed up and accidentally ordered the 2 ones that I have, and now it's too late to back out. But another thing I did was try to upgrade the Wi-Fi card for Bluetooth compatibility. One issue is that I ordered a Wi-Fi card that I can't find any drivers for. It's an Intel Centrino 2230N, I think it is. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, there's no drivers for it. I've left it in my laptop just because there's no point to try and return it, and the window has closed now. Because it was shipping from the Netherlands, it's like, yeah, I'm not shipping it back. That was $3. So, yeah, I gotta find drivers for the Intel Centrino somehow. If I can, because I want Bluetooth. And so then, eventually, I went over to help my friend with something with his computer. And, like I mentioned, another thing I forgot to mention about, like, me getting back into computers is that my friend, or the same friend, had me order him a computer. He paid me, obviously, but it's like he doesn't have a debit card. So he had me order him, a computer off eBay, and then computer parts. He put like $400 into his computer, and it's actually a really good computer. And, he also got one of the hard drives that I salvaged from the computers that my family had. This is what I said I'd get back to later, and I completely forgot to mention it. But, I salvaged... text message from my mom. But I salvaged the hard drives I salvaged I gave to my friend because I couldn't get the data off them. One of them is a dud, but the other one is not, and luckily it's the one that has 2 terabytes compared to the one that has 320 gigs. And so now he's using that 2 terabyte one in his computer. And he also put the photos and videos onto a USB stick for me. So these are that right here. So I'm glad and thankful. I've helped him a lot with his computer, mainly giving him parts that I've had. Because I'm like, you want these parts? I don't need them. I don't use them. And so yeah, that's another thing that got me back into computers and stuff. Him building his own computer. Well, not really building, more so upgrading a computer. You get my point. But where was I? Oh yeah. I was helping him with his computer with something. I don't remember what it was. But as I was driving home, I had a thought to myself. You know, I could build my own computer. What am I waiting for? Why am I putting this off? I can build my own computer. I have the money. I have the knowledge. I feel now is right to build my own computer. And so then, I texted that same relative who I've gone to for tech support before. I also just noticed my computer is a little misaligned. I'm a little nitpicky with that. But I texted him asking if there was a time where he could help me pick out computer parts. So then we scheduled a day. It was Monday. And he helped me pick out parts. He was like, what do you want to use it for? What are you looking for? And like, I mainly did most of the work, though. He was like, oh yeah, check the reviews on that just in case. I also asked people in a Discord server I'm in. I'm like, can this graphics card do 1440p? They were like, yes, but barely. I'm like, okay, what's the one that can actually do 1440p? They were like, this. So I got not the exact same one they said, or they just said like RX 7700 XT. I got the AMD Challenger ASRock one, whatever it is. But I picked out my parts, and my plan was to move my drive from my laptop to my computer build. And after everything was said and done, $1,300. Cheaper than I had expected. I ordered all the parts. I waited for them to arrive. The first thing that arrived was the case. It arrived within like 3 days. And then everything else arrived at the same time. I ordered everything off Amazon except for the case. The case I ordered off Best Buy. But I ordered everything else off Amazon. So, the day I was leaving for a trip, a camping trip. Of course, my parts arrived. And so, the 3 days I was gone on the camping trip, all I was thinking was, when I get home, I can build my computer. When I get home, I can build my computer. So everything that arrived was my motherboard, the RAM, the CPU cooler, the GPU, the Windows 11 boot disk, and the power supply. Because yes, I got the disk. I have it sitting here. Right now I'm still using Windows 10 though, because I can't really figure out my computer yet. It's a long story. But I built my computer. And then when I was getting ready, I double checked with people to make sure it was all good. One person said to change my GPU cables to something else, or to a different orientation, so I did. I pressed the power button. Didn't turn on. Because I forgot to plug in the connectors, so I plugged in the connectors. Turned it on. Didn't do it right. Had to figure out, it took me a while, like maybe 10-15 minutes of trying to figure out how to put it in. Then it turned on. And no display. So I spent a couple of days trying to troubleshoot it, and eventually I was able to get into my BIOS. And then after getting into my BIOS, I was trying to figure things out, and eventually, it's like I couldn't get my drive to boot until the same friend came over, and he helped me by switching my BIOS settings from UEFI to Legacy. So now I'm using Legacy. I think I mentioned this in one of the previous videos. And I'm fine with using Legacy. It works. And so I installed all the drivers, connected to Wi-Fi. I still need to update my BIOS though, and I still need to get into UEFI. I'll worry about those later. But all the drivers are installed. I uninstalled my old drivers too, I think. They should be uninstalled. It's like, this is an AMD system. I don't need Intel drivers, so I uninstalled that. Because like the other day I went through my programs and was like, don't need that. That's for a laptop. Yeah. So I uninstalled those. And so now I have my own computer. And I am excited for the future of my computer. Eventually I'll somehow figure out how to get it to Windows 11. And eventually I'll switch it from Legacy to UEFI, although I have to do that before Windows 11. Eventually I'm going to get a capture card. Eventually I'm going to get an SD card reader. Eventually I'm going to get a Blu-ray optical drive. And eventually I'm going to get a better monitor, because it's like I'm just using the monitor that I have. That's an HP Compaq LA2205WG. It's an old monitor, but it's what I have. So I use what I have. And I also need a new chair. I hate this chair so much. It sucks. It is so bad. It's like, it's so bad and so loud. I hate it. So I need a new chair, capture card, monitor, Blu-ray optical drive, SD card reader. I also want a USB port on my case because I didn't come with one, because I also want to make my own home server. And I want, probably the craziest of all, to make a custom BIOS for my laptop. You might be saying, you're crazy. Well, look at what I can do with my BIOS. Pretty much nothing. Like, there's nothing really to do. It's a very basic BIOS. All I can do is change to boot from an external device, and that's really it. So yeah, not much to do here with this BIOS. And if I were to learn how to create my own custom BIOS, I could say that on a resume, that I created my own custom BIOS for my laptop when I was 17. And it'd be hard, but if I do, again, I could say that on a resume. Anyway. I think that's all of my experiences with computers. Because, yeah, I think that's everything. Trying to think what else would I be missing. Other than getting an AV capture card too, I want one for HDMI and one for AV. Yeah. AV just because it's like $25, that's not bad. Another thing is that I want to upgrade from my current CPU, being the Ryzen 7 9700X, to the 9800X 3D. And I'll do that. Like, I just built my computer, and it's like, the CPU is fine. But I need to either edit my BIOS each time I'd want to use one of the capture cards, or I'd need to upgrade the CPU. I also want to get a better GPU. I want to get a 4070 at one point, an RTX 4070 Ti Super 16 gigs. So I'll eventually do that. But right now, I'm really happy with my computer. And yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching.